Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unpack the most important nuggets of knowledge from your sources. Today, we're looking at something truly significant brewing in the digital world. It's this subtle yet persistent shift of power. It's the sound of what one of our sources calls an unfolding echo authority, moving away from, the traditional gatekeepers and landing squarely with online communities.
That's right. And this isn't just like theoretical stuff. We're going to chase the story of how real say-so, the ability to make decisions and direct things, is being reshaped by fresh tech and, well, a fundamental human desire for a real stake in the game.
Yeah, a real stake.
What's truly insightful here is how this shift isn't just about decentralization. It's about validating a new economic model where collective belief and active participation can create value in ways traditional finance is only maybe just beginning to comprehend.
And our main exhibit today, the place where these theories are really hitting the pavement, is the Shiba Inu ecosystem, specifically its brand new ShibDAO. We've pulled from the 77th edition of the SHIB magazine and several other analyses to bring you this deep dive. Our mission: to paint that bigger picture of power migration, zoom into the ShibDAO itself, what makes it tick, its promises and its hurdles, and, well, cut through the usual fog by unmasking common myths.
Sounds good.
So let's unpack this and see how you, the listener, can actually get involved. Hi. The broader shift. Community power rising.
Yeah.
So for years, the internet often felt like, a factory line, right? A few big companies built the machines, we fed them content, and in return, we got access, often little else.
Yeah.
Our sources highlight this as a lopsided deal.
Exactly. And while that model worked, the tension was always there, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Now the cracks are, they're undeniable. What truly stands out, I think, is that the new pattern doesn't follow the old playbook. There's no single company dictating terms.
No central control.
Right. Instead, you have smaller, self-organizing groups building tools, protocols, and spaces they actually own. It might be messy, sure, and maybe not always perfectly polished or user-friendly.
A bit rough around the edges sometimes.
Yeah, but it's very real, and it's growing fast.
We're seeing this echo in action everywhere.
Yeah.
Decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, publicly arguing over budgets, token holders shaping the future of protocols they helped launch. And even these meme-driven communities somehow evolving into billion-dollar ecosystems without a traditional CEO anywhere in sight. It's almost hard to wrap your head around sometimes.
It really is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, power in the old internet was centralized partly because coordination was just difficult and infrastructure was prohibitively expensive.
Right, the barriers to entry were huge.
Exactly. But the tools are fundamentally different now. Coordination isn't as costly, and communities aren't just chat rooms anymore. They're treasuries, they're governance councils, development squads.
Actual organizations, just decentralized.
Pretty much. So if you want to understand what's truly happening, where should you look? The analyses suggest you follow the GitHub repositories, the community forums, the on-chain votes. That's where the future is actually being shaped right now.
So the unfolding echo isn't just a nice metaphor, it's a direct signal. When you see users pushing back on unwanted upgrades or builders shipping open infrastructure that anyone can just fork and adapt.
That's the echo.
That's it. It signals that the old walled garden, black box, just trust us, internet model is no longer sustainable. People are demanding platforms that act more like commons, not castles.
They want to co-own the tools they rely on, plain and simple. And they're increasingly willing to deal with the trade-offs that come with it. Yes, it can be slower sometimes.
Sure.
And things can definitely go wrong. But when things go right, the value created doesn't just, go up to some corporation. It sticks around for the community that built it.
That's a key difference.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it raises an intriguing thought for you listening. Do you prefer a smooth, maybe predictable, centralized experience, or the messy, sometimes frustrating, but deeply empowering path of shared ownership?
It's a good question. Now, some critics might immediately jump to the idea that community doesn't mean chaos, suggesting that community-run systems are inherently inefficient or fragile. What do our sources say about that?
Sometimes they are, absolutely, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But a key takeaway here, what's fascinating, is what happens when the right incentives click into place.
Okay.
When users feel genuinely invested, not just passively involved, and when their vote isn't just symbolic but actually steers the ship, well, that's not chaos.
That's self-governance.
Exactly, that's self-governance. And our sources suggest it works more often than critics might care to admit, even if it doesn't always look like a sleek product demo from Silicon Valley. It's about building resilient infrastructure, stuff that's designed to last. 2. ShibDAO ignites. Shiba Inu's new age of community governance.
Okay, so this broader shift towards community empowerment finds maybe its most compelling real-world test case right now within the Shiba Inu ecosystem. The long-anticipated ShibDAO has just gone live. Our sources describe this distinct hum vibrating through the ecosystem, the sound of a promise kept, maybe, of power actively shifting.
Yeah, and what's really compelling here is the why now question. Any project that grows as fast as Shiba Inu eventually hits this kind of crossroads, doesn't it?
Makes sense.
How do you keep that wild, decentralized energy alive while still making smart, coordinated decisions? For Shiba Inu, aiming for this full decentralized network state, encompassing Shibarium, their layer 2.
Right, the faster, cheaper transaction layer.
Exactly. And a deep metaverse and this whole family of tokens. The answer was a governance system as innovative and community-focused as the ecosystem itself.
So it's not just bolted on.
No, it's about embedding a new philosophy right into the ecosystem's core, making sure that people who build, use, and frankly believe in Shiba Inu truly guide its path forward.
And this isn't just talk, is it? It means the core tokens, SHIB, Bone, Leash, and the upcoming Treat, are fundamentally transformed. They go from being simple utilities to direct tools of genuine influence.
Precisely. You could think of the ShibDAO as like the Shiba Inu community's own parliament, but built on transparent, unchangeable blockchain code.
No smoke-filled back rooms.
None. No single person calling all the shots.
Yeah.
Instead, it's all about formal proposals, community debates, collective votes. The community's voice gets translated directly into action. From your perspective, reading the sources, what seems to be the most impactful area the community can now influence?
Well, it's incredibly broad, which is impressive, honestly. The community can have a direct say in things like shaping the tokens themselves.
The actual economics?
Yeah, the economics of SHIB, Bone, Leash, Treat, their utility, how they're issued, all that core stuff. Then there's choosing allies, big partnerships, new exchange listings, other strategic moves, all up for community input.
Wow.
And crafting virtual worlds. Even the rules of the SHIB metaverse, how LAN works, what NFTs can do, that falls under the DAO's purview.
So even the game rules, so to speak.
Right. Plus, building the future community members can propose and vote on major platform upgrades like new features on Shibarium or killer apps for ShibSwap or new tools within ShibHub.
And the treasury.
And guarding the coffers, exactly. How community funds are spent, which new projects get grants. These aren't decisions made in a vacuum anymore. That level of direct influence as well, it's pretty rare.
Yeah, it is a powerful list. And it raises the obvious question. How does your voice gain weight within this system? How do you actually get influence?
Right.
Well, influence is directly tied to your commitment, specifically through staking your tokens.
Yeah.
When you stake SHIB, Bone, Leash, or Treat in these smart contracts like Bury 2.0,
That's the mechanism.
that's an active step into governance. Your voting power becomes this dynamic value calculated directly within the ShibDAO smart contracts. These are, essentially self-executing digital agreements coded right onto the blockchain.
And here's a really smart design choice, I thought. It's not just about how many tokens you stake, which is often the criticism, right? The whales win.
Exactly.
But here, it's also about how long you're willing to commit them. Lock up your tokens for a longer period, and your calculated voting power will be significantly greater.
So it rewards long-term belief.
Exactly. It means more influence for those truly invested in Shiba Inu's long-term journey, not just speculators.
Yeah. And this time-weighting mechanism, combined with the future Shiba Inu karma system, which is designed to further boost the voting power of dedicated and positive contributors, it's a deliberate choice. It's trying to balance against just sheer token quantity and ensure stability.
Makes sense.
And while direct financial rewards for DAO staking aren't part of this initial launch, the idea is that active participation inherently strengthens the whole ecosystem, which should benefit everyone involved.
So, okay, with your calculated voting power, you can cast votes on proposals. And if you have enough clout, enough voting power, you can even put forward your own proposals. But what if you're busy? Life gets in the way.
Good point. You have the flexibility to delegate your voting power to someone else you trust to represent your views. That flexibility is really key for broad participation, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't have to be glued to it 24/7.
Exactly. And what's particularly forward-looking here, I think, is the vision for the ShibDAO factory.
Tell me about that.
So, owning a SHIB name, or SNS, that's your unique digital identity within the Shiba Inu ecosystem, will eventually let you launch your own DAO using the same underlying infrastructure.
Their own DAO. Really?
Yeah. Imagine artists forming a DAO to fund their work, or gaming guilds managing their treasuries, or developers governing their specific projects. It's like modular governance,
Wow.
where many self-governed communities can thrive under that larger Shiba Inu umbrella. It's quite ambitious. 3, debunking myths. Unmasking the ShibDAO.
Okay, so of course, with such a significant shift, such a new system, skepticism and misinformation inevitably pop up. You see it all the time in this space.
Oh.
So let's try and cut through some of that noise and debunk some persistent myths about the ShibDAO. Because even for people familiar with DAOs generally, the ShibDAO does things a bit differently, leading to some common misconceptions.
Yeah, good idea. Let's start with myth number 1. ShibDAO means instant chaos, too many cooks.
Yeah.
You know, the image of a digital town hall where everyone's just yelling and nothing gets done.
The classic fear.
Right. But the ShibDAO isn't designed as a free-for-all suggestion box. It's built on a structured framework. It uses platforms like Snapshot, which is a widely used off-chain voting system.
Off-chain meaning?
Meaning votes happen without requiring an on-chain blockchain transaction for every single vote. So it saves on fees and speeds things up.
Got it.
So proposals on Snapshot have to meet certain criteria. There are defined discussion periods and clear voting mechanisms based on that staked holding and the time commitment we talked about.
Okay, so it's structured more like a parliamentary committee with rules than like an open mic night.
Exactly. The goal is to harness collective intelligence, not get drowned by noise.
Right. Which leads nicely into myth number 2. Only whales will control ShibDAO. My vote is just a drop in the ocean. This is a really valid concern in lots of token-based governance systems.
It absolutely is. But, as we discussed, ShibDAO tries to tackle this with a multifaceted approach. Yes, the amount of tokens you stake matters, but the duration you lock them up for acts as a powerful multiplier on your voting weight.
The time waiting.
Precisely. This intentionally tilts influence towards sustained commitment, not just temporary accumulation by, wealthy players or whales.
And it's worth reminding people again about that upcoming Shiba Inu karma system that's planned to further multiply voting power for dedicated, active, positive users, further balancing the scales. So the design actively fights that simple one token, one vote problem.
Correct. Then there's myth number 3. ShibDAO is too technical. I'll never understand how to participate.
Yeah, the tech barrier fear.
And look, the underlying on-chain staking contracts are complex, no doubt about it. But the user experience for actually participating is designed to be as straightforward as possible.
So what does that look like for a user?
We're talking clear dashboards, pretty intuitive interfaces for viewing proposals on Snapshot, and simple gasless voting. You just sign a message with your wallet.
Gasless meaning no transaction fees to vote.
Exactly. That makes participation much more accessible and affordable for everyone, not just those who can afford high fees.
So it's designed to feel more like using a modern app, even if the back end is complicated. Plus, the Shiba Inu ecosystem is generally known for pretty strong community support and educational stuff to help guide users, isn't it?
That's true. They do put a lot of effort into that. Okay, myth number 4. Once a ShibDAO vote passes on Snapshot, changes happen like magic.
Right. The vote passes and boom, it's done.
Not quite. This raises an important point. How does the will of the DAO actually translate into real action? A successful vote acts as a binding mandate. It signals, this is what the community wants.
Okay, it sets the direction.
Exactly. But the actual implementation, whether it's a complex new feature on Shibarium or a new partnership agreement, might still require development work by core teams or operational efforts or further coordination.
Give me an example.
Sure. If a proposal to, say, transfer community funds to a grant winner is approved, it would then be enacted by a multi-signature wallet.
Multi-sig, okay.
Right. Controlled by trusted parties who are acting on the DAO's specific mandate. Think of it like a digital vault that needs multiple keys from different people to open it. It prevents any single point of failure or control.
So the ShibDAO sets the direction. The ecosystem then works to build it out. It's not instant magic.
Correct. And finally, myth number 5. ShibDAO is just a fad. It won't really change anything fundamental.
It's just window dressing.
Some people might see it that way, but it really misunderstands the core intent. This isn't supposed to be just a suggestion box. It's a framework for a significant and hopefully enduring transfer of decision-making influence. By giving token holders real power over the treasury, over tokenomics, partnerships, the actual roadmap, The ShibDAO fundamentally alters the power dynamic within the entire ecosystem.
And coupled with that ability for SHIB name holders, the SNS holders, to create their own DAOs using the same tech.
Right, that DAO factory idea.
Yeah, this isn't just symbolic. It feels like a structural shift designed for lasting impact, moving Shiba Inu closer to that big vision of a true decentralized network state. The big changes ahead aren't just about new features. They're about who gets to decide on them.
That's the crux of it.
Yeah.
Your role in the driver's seat. 7 ways to engage.
Okay, so ultimately, the real significance of the ShibDAO's launch lies in its direct impact on you, the community member, the listener. It fundamentally shifts who holds the power. And here are, let's say, 7 tangible ways your involvement can shape the future, based on what the sources lay out.
Let's hear them.
1, you directly influence ecosystem upgrades and features. Got an idea for Shibarium or the metaverse? You can vote on real developments and help prioritize them.
So real input on the product roadmap.
2, you help steer the treasury and fund innovation. The community now has significant say over how valuable resources get allocated, like voting on grants for promising community-led projects.
Controlling the purse strings collectively.
3, you get a say in tokenomics and utility. You can participate in those crucial decisions about the economics of SHIB, bone, leash, and treat, actively shaping their future.
That's fundamental.
4, you can forge your own kingdom. This is the EAO factory thing. If you own a SHIB name, SNS, you can create and run your own DAO for artists, gaming guilds, local groups, whatever. It's decentralization multiplying itself.
That's potentially huge. A DAO of DAOs.
5, you weigh in on strategic partnerships and big moves. The SHIB DAO provides that platform for the community to vote on pivotal strategic decisions, like major alliances or new exchange listings.
So the community helps choose its partners.
6, you can delegate your voting power. We touched on this. If you can't always actively participate, you can assign your voting power to a trusted community member to vote on your behalf.
Keeps participation high, even if people are busy.
And 7, you actively build a truly decentralized network state. Every proposal you vote on, every new SNS DAO that gets created, contributes directly to Shiba Inu's big picture vision for a collectively owned and governed future.
So participation isn't just voting, it's actually co-creating the future state.
That seems to be the idea. V, the wider Shiba Inu ecosystem and market dynamics. Now, stepping back a bit, the Shiba Inu ecosystem isn't just SHIB anymore, is it? It's this whole pack of tokens, each with its own role. And our sources offer some interesting insights into where they stand right now.
That's right. And what's intriguing is how each token seems to reflect different facets of community engagement and maybe expectation. Take Treat, for instance. It's relatively new.
Yeah, the newest one.
But it's stirring significant excitement. Its 24-hour trading volume, recently around $2.22 million, nearly matched its entire market cap of $2.21 million.
That's high turnover.
It signals serious interest, serious velocity, even as its specific utility is still developing and kind of solidifying its place within the whole ecosystem picture.
Then there's Leash. That's the one known for its extremely limited supply, right?
Correct. It recently showed a quiet reawakening, a slight gain, trading around $135.10 with a market cap of about $14.35 million.
And Bone, that's got a specific job now.
Yes, Bone serves as the governance backbone for ShibaSwap, their decentralized exchange, and now it's the gas fee token for Shibarium, the Layer-2. It continues to show steady engagement, trading around 0.2952 with a market cap close to $68 million.
And the original, SHIB itself.
SHIB itself at around 0.00001426 is holding its ground. Market cap around $8.41 billion, and it showed some resilience, up about 3.34% over the past month, according to the data we saw.
And these tokens are powered by, well, a huge community. That's maybe their greatest asset. On-chain, SHIB boasts over 1.5 million holders.
Staggering number.
Bone has over 95,000 and Leash over 30,000. It really is millions of wallets, one community, as they say.
And importantly, this community isn't just passively holding tokens. They're actively building and innovating within the ecosystem.
Like what?
Well, for example, a project called ChewySwap just launched a new multi-chain NFT management tool. Works across Shibarium, Dogecoin, Base, and Ethereum with a slick drag-and-drop interface.
So tools are being built on top.
Exactly. And the spirit, the culture of the ecosystem, is even captured in things like a new Blocktoons comic celebrating all the tokens, Shibs, Leash, Bone, Treat. It points to that cultural vibrancy.
Security is also a major focus, it seems. ShibaSwap maintains a high CertiK Skynet score. That comes from Certic, a leading blockchain security firm, right? They do continuous monitoring and audits.
Yes, and the scores are high top marks in community and governance at 98, market stability at 96, along with strong technical scores like 89.29 in code security. This isn't just, random numbers. It reflects underlying trust and pretty robust development practices.
It's building confidence.
It seems so. And it's also, frankly, inspiring to see community leaders emerging, like the founder of SHIB Women, known as the Crypto Queen, representing the SHIB Army at major industry events like the upcoming 2025 Bitcoin conference in Vegas.
Visibility matters.
It really underscores the community's growing influence, moving beyond just the digital realm.
Okay, let's talk burns. A critical aspect of SHIB's long-term strategy is its burn rate, designed to reduce supply, create deflationary pressure. Our sources report over 1.13 billion SHIB burned in total recently.
And that number keeps ticking up, up 3.93% from the previous week when the source was published, with recent single-day burns sometimes hitting over 500 million SHI.
Huge numbers.
They are. But what's truly insightful here, I think, isn't just the sheer volume. It's this fascinating paradox. While this retail-driven burn strategy definitely reinforces optimism and the deflationary narrative.
People like seeing tokens burned.
They do. But its immediate impact on price has been, well, somewhat limited lately. SHI remained largely stagnant, kind of stuck around that 0.0011 on scene, 0.000011 till level for a while, unable to break through resistance despite those aggressive burns.
So burns alone aren't enough.
It suggests that while scarcity is certainly building, you still need sustained strong demand and broader market interest to translate those burns into immediate upward price pressure. It's supply and demand.
Makes sense.
However, the anticipated automated burns planned for Q3 2025, those could be a different story. They might significantly reignite that scarcity factor in a more predictable way.
Okay, so for many listeners, the big question is always about price. What might happen? Our sources provide a range of perspectives, always acknowledging the inherently volatile and speculative nature of SHIB.
Absolutely. Current data puts SHIB around hashtag 19 in the overall crypto ecosystem rankings. Sentiment was described as neutral bullish at 56%, with the fear and greed index showing greed at 74.
Greed meaning optimism, potentially over-optimism.
Potentially, yes. Short-term forecasts for July-August 2025, when the source is looking, showed SHIB hovering around 0.00001134, or maybe increasing towards 0.0000000143 by mid-July. Breaking that resistance around 0.000011 is seen as crucial for any significant uptrend.
And looking further out, the long-term predictions.
Well, analyses from places like Changelly and CoinCodex suggest significant potential, but again, highly speculative. For 2025, predictions range from a max of maybe 0.0000059994 from Changelly up to 0.0000008471 from CoinCodex.
Quite a range.
Huge range. By 2030, Changelly forecasts an average around 0.0003239676. Some experts cited believe SHIB could reach new all-time highs eventually. Even more distant predictions for 2040 and 2050 show potential averages creeping into the $2 and $3 range.
Wow, okay, but those are very, very long-term guesses.
Extremely speculative. It's vital to remember these are just predictions influenced by countless variables. Key factors influencing SHIB's price include, the overall crypto market sentiment.
Bitcoin's price, Ethereum's price.
Exactly. The massive activity of the SHIB army on social media definitely plays a role. Increased adoption and actual utility through platforms like ShibaSwap and Shibarium is critical, and of course regulatory changes loom large over everything.
So lots of factors.
What's particularly interesting now, though, is how the strength of the community and the maturation of governance via this new ShibDAO are increasingly seen as pivotal for long-term value, perhaps even more so than just pure market mechanics alone.
Right. So the inevitable question, is SHI a good investment? What do the sources conclude?
They generally classify it as a high-risk, high-reward speculative asset, especially as its real-world utility while growing is still developing and being implemented through initiatives like ShibDAO and Shibarium.
And those pie-in-the-sky price targets? Like $1 or $10?
Those seem highly improbable, mathematically speaking, given the astronomical market cap that would require. However, the idea of Shiba Inu eventually overtaking Dogecoin in market cap is considered more realistic by some analysts, mainly due to its lower eventual supply and its focus on building out more utility.
But the bottom line?
The bottom line, as always in crypto, is it's absolutely crucial for you, the listener, to do your own thorough research before making any decisions. Don't rely solely on predictions or hype.
Sound advice. Outro. Okay, so this deep dive into the Shiba Inu ecosystem, particularly the launch of ShibDAO, really highlights, I think, a profound shift underway. It feels like a bold declaration. Real power, actual decision-making ability is being actively transferred into the hands of the community.
Yeah, and what's particularly insightful, I think, is that this isn't just marketing talk. It's actually built on transparent protocols. It leverages established tools like Snapshot, and it's specifically designed to reward commitment and active participation.
It's got structure.
It does. It is messy at times, yes, no doubt. But maybe that's just the nature of true digital democracy in action, where the collective will is actually learning how to steer the ship and build genuine shared value.
The unfolding echo we talked about at the start is definitely getting louder. It's inviting you, the listener, to lean in, get informed, and really consider your direct role in this evolving digital landscape. It truly challenges the old playbook for how things get done online. And new rules are genuinely being written, not by corporations, but by the users themselves.
And this raises maybe one final important question for you to mull over. If decentralized governance truly is the future, or at least a significant part of it, what happens when the collective wisdom and the unwavering commitment of millions, not just thousands, millions, truly learns how to navigate all these complexities and drive innovation towards a shared, co-owned destiny? What does that future look like?